you got to be crazy to want your kid to play football. Look,
Yeah, absolutely.
I have 3 daughters, so I may not be faced with the same kind of decisions, not to mention my DNA in terms of athletic ability, guys. I mean, like, as you know, Molly, what's his name, Molly? My daughter's coach. My daughter's skills development coach. Coach Mackey, that's right. Steady buckets in New York City.
And your daughters are adorable, by the way.
Thank you. But the only WNBA in my daughter's future is like won't never ball at that level. That's the WNBA for them.
True story.
So I'm not faced with this decision. But if I had a son and he was a really good athlete somehow and he wanted to play football, I would discourage it. I would discourage him. I would not encourage him. Ultimately, I would probably allow it. I wouldn't not allow it, but I certainly wouldn't encourage it. Football is a dangerous game. It is fundamentally different than baseball or basketball. You can get hit with a line drive in the head, and that's all she wrote. I mean, that has happened even, at all levels of baseball. That can be dangerous. But baseball is basically not a dangerous sport. It's not a full contact sport. Neither is basketball. Violence is not incidental in football. It is intrinsic to football. It is inherent in the game itself. And that's one problem. The second problem is we're getting more efficient in all sports. You look at like infield shifts in baseball. Oh, it's ruining the game. We just know how to be more efficient. All the corner threes taken in basketball. It's either you're in the paint or you're taking a corner 3, right? Well, football, the violence has gotten more efficient, meaning better. They're better at violence now in football than they ever were. They're bigger, stronger, faster, hit harder. You look at the all-time, you look at some of the players that are considered the greatest, quarterback sackers of all time, and you look at some of these sacks from 50, 40 years ago, you go, huh, all right. I see more vicious sacks than that every day now, every weekend nowadays. The point is they're bigger, stronger, faster, and better at the violence. It is a violent sport to begin with. And like Donovan, if my children want to box, that's okay. You're in a fair fight. You're fighting someone your own size, your own weight. You got gloves on, headgear. You got a referee right there. I don't care how good you are at football, how much knowledge you have, how athletic you are. Sometimes the hits come from where you don't know where they're coming. I mean, it's not always a fair fight. It's not a one-on-one sport. I wouldn't want my kid playing.
Hold on, Max. I mean, I'd rather not have my kid box and sit there and be sipping food from a straw or catch brain damage. In all the sports that you mentioned, there are opportunities to get hurt. I mean, look what happened with Chapman. Pitching the ball 100 plus miles an hour, the ball gets shot right back at him, hits him in the head. I mean, there's ways of getting hurt in each and every sport that you play. You talk about basketball, someone would undercut you going up for a layup or possibly for a dunk. You can end up falling on the back of your head. You never know what may happen. Or you may suffer injuries like Sean Livingston has suffered throughout his career. Football is just one where it's a lot of bang-bang. It's contact all across the field. Now, no matter what position you played, if you play quarterback, I mean, we've seen Joe Theismann on national TV with LT coming in for the sack, and we've seen what happened with that particular injury. So I just think for kids, I'm not encouraging my son to play tackle football. I love coaching him in flag football. I love what the competition brings and what he can offer in flag football. Now, if he wants to play, I'll sit down and have to tell him about what possibly could lead to it or what could happen. I mean, I'll even show videos. But if he still wants to play, I don't want to step in front of his success and say, you know what, let's try something else. Give him an opportunity to learn for himself.
I wouldn't stop him either if I were you. If I were you and my kid actually had a chance to play at a very, very high level, I wouldn't stop him, but I would discourage it because, Donovan, that's not a reasonable argument that just because you can also get hurt in baseball or basketball or walking down the street doesn't mean that there's the same risk. There's much different risk in football.